Have you ever felt that finance is overwhelming, just too scary to be compelling? A new era is here, fresh story without fear, and it's time to move on, time to feel strong. Finance is beautiful. Finance is beautiful. Add a little color to my spreadsheet, baby. Make it a picture so I can see. Add a little color to my spreadsheet, baby. I'm in command of my money. Growing up in Georgia, my father read me poetry and played me rock and roll. I loved philosophy, psychology, language. Finance wasn't really on my radar. Then in college, I signed up for a marketing internship. But when I started, my role shifted to finance, and suddenly I was immersed in the world of numbers. I saw entrepreneurs walk in with ideas they were passionate about, and then the banker would walk them through the financial strategy to bring their dreams to life. And that is when I realized that finance can be part of something beautiful. So then right out of school, I joined a wealth management firm. I was there for 12 years, and in that time, I noticed that many people do not, in fact, experience finance as beautiful. Mostly, they find it to be overwhelming, confusing, boring, even scary. In my early career, I'm sitting in a conference room. There's a senior financial advisor, the client, and me. The meeting begins, and the client is presented with a thick stack of financial reports, and within moments, the advisor launches into an investment soliloquy about the history of interest rates, emerging market valuations, the Fed, and within about 10 seconds, I see the client just check out. And I can see in their eyes, to them, it seemed like finance was overwhelming, confusing, and boring. And just like that, they had checked out of their own financial life. And that is when I realized that if we want people to engage in their financial lives, then finance needs to be clear, approachable, and beautiful. But maybe that's just my personal feeling. Does making finance beautiful really matter? Okay, so have you heard of the Great Wealth Transfer? It's actually happening right now. Trillions of dollars are changing hands in the US as older generations pass down their assets to younger ones. Basically, boomers are passing substantial amounts of money to millennials, Gen X, and Gen Z, and notably, a large portion of this is expected to shift into the hands of women. However, traditional financial education has often failed to effectively engage people, in particular women and younger generations, if they received any financial education at all. And so, if we want the next generations to be empowered and engaged in their financial lives, then the world of finance needs to be clear, approachable, and beautiful. Which begs the question, why are so many people disengaged in finance? I remember going to the mechanic to fix my car. It stopped working, I had no idea why, and the mechanic started explaining how the engine worked, the pistons and the fuel injectors. And after a few minutes, I said, "Look, can you just make it go?" And that's how so many people feel talking to a financial professional. It's a one-way, technical conversation that's hard to understand, and it's hard to tell which parts relate to my actual question, which is, what financial steps do I need to take today for me and my family? So that's the first challenge. Financial advice is often presented as a monologue and not a dialogue. People also tell me that the world of finance feels like it's written in a completely different language. When I first read Shakespeare in high school, I was confused. It was definitely in English, but it felt like a foreign language, and I couldn't really appreciate the text. And that's what it feels like to so many people trying to deal with financial jargon. They can read the words, but it's like a totally different language. And like many industries, professionals within the financial industry tend to have very technical training, and they speak with each other in very technical terms. But when we go to speak to non-finance folks, it's so easy to forget how overwhelming and daunting these terms can be. Equities, fixed income, yield curve, cost basis, alpha, beta, bull market, bear market, hawkish, dovish, squirrelish. Okay, I made up squirrelish. But when people don't know the terms, their definitions, or how the concepts relate to one another, it's disorienting, which makes it difficult to engage in a meaningful conversation. And so we've got a few generations who feel talked at in a foreign language about finance. No wonder they're not engaged. And at the end of the day, finance can feel kind of scary. And so it's common for us to behave like financial ostriches with our heads in the sand. Okay, so what can we do instead? As a young adult, I took a creative writing class. My writing teacher, Donald, picked up a copy of King Lear and brought it to life with a performance that fully captured the story. Finally, I was able to understand and appreciate the beauty of Shakespeare. And that's what we need to do for people in the world of finance. Bring it to life in a way they can engage with. So today, I'm the founder of a boutique wealth advisory. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I can share what's been working for us. We've been using creative tools like visuals, stories, metaphors, games, and yes, music, to engage people in their financial education, inviting them to look at finance in a whole new way. So let's talk about it. Okay, stories. So early on in working with a new client, we asked them about their money stories. What are the early experiences and lessons that have shaped how you think, feel, and make financial decisions today? For example, I remember my grandmother saying, "It's not polite to talk about money." And for a long time, I felt super uncomfortable having financial conversations, which, as you can imagine, made it rather difficult as a financial advisor when my job was to help people with their money. So identifying this financial story was important for me because I realized it wasn't serving me and I could rewrite it too. It's essential to talk about money. In one of my sessions, someone said, "I'm just not a numbers person." And so I said, "Okay, is that serving you?" And they said, "No, it has me turn off my brain the second I start thinking about numbers." And so I said, "Okay, what would serve you and your financial goals?" And they thought about it and came back with a beautiful breakthrough. With practice and focus, I can learn anything. Remember, you are the author of your financial stories. Your money stories aren't right or wrong. The question is, are they serving you and your financial goals? If not, you get to rewrite them and experiment with what works for you. So, stories. We also use metaphors. I'm a nature person, so a lot of my metaphors have to do with trees or the garden. So imagine your finances are a garden. A garden, like your finances, is alive. It grows, it changes, and evolves with the seasons and stages of your life. Growth isn't always linear. And not everything blooms at the same time. What matters is that you tend and cultivate a diverse garden to support you in different conditions and seasons. Over time, as you nurture your garden, Your garden will nurture you. Okay, so stories and metaphors are useful tools for engaging people in their financial lives. I'm also partial to using songs to impart financial concepts, which I'm known to do to unexpected open mic crowds and TEDx audiences. Oh, you thought this sweet Southern girl was going to whisper sing an acoustic song? Not today. Here comes some face-melting financial rock. Okay, so stories, metaphors, music, all good. And of course, we also use games. And I want to tell you about one game in particular that we call the values game. You see, before we look at a single number, financial statement, or spreadsheet, we ask people what they really care about, what they value. We engage with the things we care about, and values represent what we truly care about. So let's play a quick version of the values game right now. So take a look at the values you see up on your screen. There are many more you can choose from, but here are some. Choose just one that calls out to you. Okay, got it? Now, put your imagination caps on and picture. It's 1 year into the future, and you're expressing the personal value you just picked. Engage in activities that bring it to life. Now, ask yourself, what is one action you can take to align your resources, your money, or your time with this value in the next 12 months? For example, I know someone, let's call her Linda, who dreamed of travel all her life, but there always seemed to be other obligations. When she identified adventure is a top value and desire of hers, she was able to focus the use of her time and money and set off to experience the world. Or maybe learning or education is one of your top values, and so you set up a special account and put some money into it automatically each month just to save or invest for that. But it's not always about money. In one of my sessions, someone identified connection as one of their top values, and so they decided to host a potluck for their friends once a month. Someone else chose that same value of connection and decided to start volunteering in a nonprofit in honor of their mother. So again, think of your value and ask yourself, what is one action you can take to align your resources with this values in the next 12 months? Wealth is more than just money. It's having what you value, your dreams, come to life. And that's the point of the values game, to clarify your values so that you can use your resources efficiently to create wealth. Beautiful, right? Okay. So visuals, stories, metaphors, games, music, oh my! And it's exciting because right now there's a growing movement of holistic financial planners, YouTubers, TikTokers, bloggers, podcasters, all experimenting with ways to help the next generations connect and engage with finance. And I love to see it. So, why is finance beautiful? Because it is a tool to express your values and bring your dreams to life. And if we can embrace this perspective, then we can access a whole new world of possibility when it comes to engaging with our finances. We can see that money is a means to an end, and not the end in and of itself. That numbers can be a creative and interesting medium, and wealth is more than just money. It's the experience of living a fulfilled life, defined by you. Grew up thinking investing not my scene, but now I'm taking charge. I'm a finance queen. The moment I engage, I start to turn the page. Left brain, right brain, finance is whole brain. finding